Hello children, how are you? I hope you all are doing well and studying well. So children, in science, we are at present talking about the internal system of us, of our human body. Okay, so let's talk about our organ system in this chapter. Okay, so as we all know, okay, there are external organs and there are internal organs. So here we are going to talk about the different organs that we have in our body. Alright, so we are going to learn about the nervous system, the respiratory system, circulatory system, digestive system and excretory system. Okay, now we all know that our body is nothing but a machine. Okay, and in order for this machine to function, each and every body part is used. Okay, be it external or be it internal. So let's see how our body works as a machine. Alright, so different organs of our body, they work together in the system. Okay, and they help us to perform different activities. Now there are 5 main organ systems in the body. The first one is the nervous system. Okay, nervous system is the most important and the most complex system because it controls the other body systems. Okay, now nervous system controls our movements, our sense organs. Okay, it controls our heartbeat, it controls our breathing, our digestion, our memory and our speech. Now, see, nervous system is where everything starts, okay, and the entire body is dependent on this nervous system. So if your nervous system is good, okay, it's working properly, that means your body is in a good shape. Okay, now the main parts of this nervous system are brain, the spinal cord and the nerves. Okay, now nervous system, it controls our movements, it controls our sense organs, okay, the 5 sense organs that we have. It controls our heartbeat, our breathing, digestion, memory and speech. Okay, so let's begin by brain. When we talk about memory, okay, the brain is made up of millions of nerve cells. It controls and coordinates our movements. Okay, it is the control center of the body. It tells every part of the body what to do, even when you are asleep. Okay, the brain is soft and delicate like jelly. It looks like a walnut and is protected by the skull. Okay, the space between the brain and the skull bones is filled with a fluid and protects brains from injuries. Okay, so now children, do you know our brain can store about 100 million bits of information in a lifetime. So that's the data that it can store, okay, during the hundreds of millions of bits of information can be stored inside our brain. So if you look at the brain, okay, look at this diagram of brain, you will see that when you open a walnut, it's the same thing, it looks very similar to that. Okay, so that's how our brain looks, like a walnut. Okay, but it is soft and jelly like. Okay, it is delicate, it is soft, it is just delicate like a jelly. Okay, now and it is protected by the skull. It is protected inside the skull. Okay, now the space between the brain and the skull, it is filled with fluid. Okay, and it protects brains from injuries. Okay, so even if the skull is protecting the brain, still there is fluid inside it also, which protects it from any kind of injuries. Okay, now then is the spinal cord. What is the spinal cord? It is made up of different nerves. Okay, now it begins at the lower part of the brain and it extends to the lower end of our backbone. Okay, it is soft, it is delicate like the brain and is protected inside the vertebral column. Okay, so look at the diagram, you will see that it starts just below our back of the head, okay, towards the back of the head, near the neck portion after the brain gets over. From there it begins and it extends till our lower part of the body. Okay, So, it begins from this brain and ends till the lower part of the spinal cord, okay, and it is situated inside the vertebral column. It is also soft, okay, just like the way our brain is soft. Spinal cord, it also controls our actions. It controls our actions, okay. The spinal cord links several parts of the body to the brain via nerves. The brain and spinal cord together, they control all the actions of the body. Each and everything that human does, okay, human body does, is controlled directly by the brain or through the spinal cord. Then you have the nerves. What are these nerves made up of? They are made up of neurons, okay. Now, what are these neurons? They are functional unit of nervous system. So, nerves, they carry information in the form of electrical signal form, okay, and they are like, nerves carry information in form of electrical signals, okay, to different parts of the body, okay. Now, the respiratory system. Respiration means breathing, okay. So, the respiratory system means the air we breathe in goes inside our body through the nose. This is called inhalation. When we breathe in air, when we breathe in oxygen from the environment, it is known as inhalation, okay. From the nose, the air goes down to the windpipe towards the lungs. Now, how many lungs do we have? We have 2 lungs, okay. Now, these lungs, they help us in respiration, okay. They expand, okay, and they contract. Now, respiration is a process by which oxygen from the air we breathe, okay, it is the oxygen from the air that we breathe in is absorbed, okay, into the blood, and carbon dioxide is removed from the blood. So, respiration is nothing but a process of inhalation and exhalation, okay, in which we inhale the oxygen from air, okay, it goes down it is absorbed by the blood, and then the blood releases the carbon dioxide which is exhaled by us, okay, and taken in by the plants. Alright, now with each breath, the lungs add fresh oxygen to our body or to our blood, okay. Then the impure air full of carbon dioxide is then exhaled or breathed out. The lungs are protected by cage-like structure made of bones. It is known as the rib cage. So, where are the lungs situated? They are situated inside the rib cage. They are protected by the rib cage, okay. So, when the windpipe gets choked, people suffer from asthma or breathing disorders. They use an inhaler which releases a drug that widens the air passage, making breathing easier. Smoking and air pollution causes breathing disorders and harms our lungs. So, we should try to reduce air pollution and stay away from smoking. So, breathing is the most important part of our life, isn't it? We survive because we take in air and we give out air. Okay, that's the process of breathing that we do, okay, and it is all done in the lungs. So, maintaining healthy lungs is important for us, and for that we need to keep our environment clean. We need to breathe in fresh air, okay. We should avoid places which have lot of smoke around, okay. We should not pollute the air, alright. Now, we should try to reduce the air pollution and we should stay away from smoking also, okay. Now, the impure air full of carbon dioxide is taken by whom? It is taken in by the plants, okay, and plants give us the oxygen. Remember this cycle? Alright, now let us look at the circulatory system. The heart pumps blood, okay, and the blood is circulated in different parts of our body through blood vessels. Now, the heart, blood and blood vessels, what do they make up? They make up our circulatory system. Now, when you look at the heart, okay, it beats 72 times in a minute. So, it has 2 pumps, each forming one side of the heart, okay. A thick wall of muscle called the spectrum, it divides the 2 sides. Each side has two chambers separated by a one-way valve. The upper chamber is called the atrium, where blood accumulates. So, the blood is gathered in the upper chamber, which is called the atrium, and the lower part, okay, is the main pumping chamber. Now, this main pumping chamber is called the ventricle. Okay. The blood vessels carrying blood to different parts of the body are of three types. Now, these are the three types of blood vessels that carry the blood to different parts of the body. One is the veins, okay, the arteries and the capillaries. Okay. Now, veins, what are veins? What do? They carry the impure blood, okay, from the different parts of the body back to the heart. So, whatever impure blood is there in the body, okay, it is carried back to the heart through veins. Now, veins, they carry the impure blood back to the heart, and we can see the veins, they are like blue in color. Okay. Now, arteries, what do? They carry the pure blood to different parts of the body, okay, from the heart. So, veins carry impure blood to the heart, arteries carry pure blood to different parts of the body from the heart. Okay. Circulatory system is the main transportation and cooling system for the body. Capillarical are delicate blood vessels that exist throughout our body. Okay. They transport blood, nutrients and oxygen to cells in your organs from arteries and body systems, and carry back carbon dioxide and waste to veins. Okay. So, this is how the circulatory system works with the heart, okay, the blood and the blood vessels. Now, capillaries, what are they? They are delicate blood vessels. Okay. Now, they exist throughout our body. They are throughout our body, okay, and that is where the transportation of the blood, the nutrients and oxygen takes place in the cells, okay, into our organs from arteries and body systems, and they carry back carbon dioxide and waste to the veins, because veins carry the impure blood. Okay. So, impure blood consists of carbon dioxide, which is a waste, okay, and different types of any other waste. All right. Now, digestive system. Okay, the food we eat, it has various nutrients which cannot be used directly by our body. Now, they need to be broken down into simpler forms. This is called digestion. The small food pieces dissolve in the water present in our blood. Okay. Now, the blood takes them to all cells of the body. The organ system which helps in the food digestion collectively make a system called digestive system. Okay. So, the food that we eat, it is broken down into simpler forms. So, when it breaks down into simpler form, it is known as the process of digestion. Okay. Now, this small food particles or pieces, okay, they dissolve in the water that is present in the body, in the blood, and then the blood takes them to the cells of the body. The organs that help in the food digestion collectively make a system called the digestive system. Now, what are the different parts that help in the digestion of the food? Okay, in the entire process of the digestion of food, the first one is the mouth. Okay, that is where we eat. Okay. So, whatever we eat, whatever food is there, we eat through our mouth. Okay. We use our tongue for it, we use our teeth, and we use our salivary glands. Okay. So, tongue helps us to get the taste, teeth to bite the food, and the salivary glands, they help to mix the fruit well, to churn the food well because of the saliva that is there in the mouth. Okay. Then this food goes down through esophagus, which is also called the food pipe. Okay. It goes down through the food pipe into our stomach. Okay. Then the food the nutrients are provided to the liver and gallbladder, then to the pancreas, then it goes into the small intestine, then to the large intestine, okay, and rectum and anus. So, as the food enters the mouth, it is chewed by the teeth. As we chew the food, it mixes with saliva, which is a digestive juice made by the salivary glands, which makes the food soft, moist, okay, and it goes down to the esophagus or food pipe, which is a narrow tube that contains the mouth. It connects the mouth to the stomach. Okay. Now, from the mouth, food passes into the food pipe, okay, and then into the stomach. So, what happens in the stomach? The muscles, the stomach muscles, they churn the food, okay, with digestive juices which are there. Now, they break down proteins and other substances into simple soluble substances. Now, let us talk about the small intestine, okay. The stomach, it leads into small intestine. Now, this small intestine which is there, it is a long, narrow, highly coiled structure. Okay, you can look at the diagram, it will help you understand how it looks, okay, in which the food remains for around 4 to 5 hours and then it gets completely digested. Now, the juices of pancreas, they are called the pancreatic juice, and liver, they are called the juices in the liver are called bile, okay. They also get poured into the small intestine. Now, bile, it helps in the digestion of fats. It breaks up big drops of oil and into tiny droplets, then it is easier for enzymes to act on them. Okay. So, whatever we eat, every part of our body has a function. So, whereas bile, it is in the liver. Now, what is this bile? It helps in the digestion of fats. Okay. The fatty material that we eat, for example, the oil, okay, the oil droplets which are there, they are converted into tiny droplets, okay, then it is easier for the enzymes to act on them. Then the pancreatic juice, it helps in the digestion of proteins and starch. The walls of small intestine have blood vessels which absorb the nutrients from food, okay. Then comes the large intestine. The undigested food, okay, contains roughage and water. It then moves into large intestine. So, whatever food is digested, can be digested, is taken in by the small intestine and converted into nutrients which is helpful for our body. Whatever is not being digested, okay, it contains what? Roughage. It contains the roughage, it contains water. So, it is then moved to the large intestine. Water and salt are absorbed by the walls of large intestine. The waste that remains stored in the large intestine, and it is the waste whatever is there, it is stored in the large intestine, okay, until it is thrown out from the anus. Okay. Next is the excretory system. Now, the excretory system, what happens here? So, once it goes to the anus, okay, once the food is there in the large intestine, which is a waste, okay, then it moves into the excretory system. Now, the excretory system, it helps to throw out the waste from our body. So, how do you throw out the waste? The waste is not only thrown out through the anus, but there are different parts of the body that also throw out the waste, okay, like the kidneys, skin and the lungs, they are all parts of the excretory system. Now, what happens is lungs help to throw out the carbon dioxide from the body, okay. So, when we breathe out air, we are throwing out the carbon dioxide, okay. So, what is used here? Lungs. Then the skin helps in removing excess salt and water from the body through sweat. When we sweat, excess water from the body is removed, okay. Kidneys are the most important organs of the excretory system. There are 2 kidneys in our body. Each consists of tiny filters called nephrons, which filter the waste out of the body or the blood. The waste produced combines with water to form urine. The urine gets collected in the urinary bladder, and when the bladder is about halfway full, we feel the need to pass urine, okay. Now, let us do a quick revision of all these different types of systems that we have learned of our body systems, okay. Now, the nervous system, what does it consist of? It consists of the brain, spinal cord and the nerves. Then the spinal cord, what is the spinal cord? It is a long thin bundle of nerves, okay, in our back. Then the brain and the spinal cord, they together control all the actions of the body. Whatever actions we are doing is all controlled by the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, that is our nervous system. Now, the cage-like structure known as the rib cage, it protects the lungs, which are a part of our respiratory system. Okay, smoking and air pollution, they cause breathing disorders. Arteries, they carry pure blood to the different parts of the body. Arteries are a part of our circulatory system. Okay, and the kidneys, skin and lungs, they are all parts of the excretory system. Alright. Now children, quickly reread this chapter and then start doing these exercises. Okay, take the correct option. The brain is made up of bones, nerve cells, muscles or arteries. They are made up of nerve cells. Okay, the dash help in respiration, lungs, heart, stomach or kidney, the lungs. Okay, the heart pumps how many times in a minute? 72 times. Okay, now fill in the blanks with the help of the given words. Okay, the dash thinks for the entire body. The brain thinks for the entire body. Dash helps to throw out carbon dioxide from the body. What helps? The lungs. Okay, dash are the most important organs of the excretory system, kidneys. Okay, the dash carry blood to different parts of the body. What carry blood? The blood vessels. Okay, different dash help us to perform different activities. So, different organs, they help us to perform different activities. Dash changes the food into a sugar, saliva. Okay, the dash we breathe in goes inside our body. The air that we breathe in goes inside our body. The lungs help in respiration. Alright, now write T for true and F for false. Okay, the spinal cord is a long thin bundle of nerves. Absolutely true. The heart pumps 72 times in a minute. Yes. The stomach thinks for the entire body. False. Who thinks? It's the brain. Kidneys are the most important organs of the excretory system. Absolutely true. Okay. So, what are the main parts of our brain? So, you have to tell us what are the different main parts, okay, of the brain that are there. Okay. Then, what is the role of stomach? What role does the stomach play in the digestive system? Okay. Then, what happens when the food reaches the small intestine? Okay, and what are nephrons? So, these are the things that you need to answer them properly. Alright, so for that you need to read the chapter. Okay, now what are atrium and ventricle? They are parts of the circulatory system. So, read the passage properly and answer this question. Okay, now what are the functions performed by veins and arteries? As we said, veins throw out the waste. Okay, they take the waste blood back to the heart. Okay, and arteries take the pure blood, okay, to different body parts. Alright, now why do people need inhalers? Okay, for those whose windpipes are blocked, they use the inhalers. So, write about it in more detail. Now, you have to define the circulatory system and write the names of the organs that, okay, organ system and the following parts of our body where these belong to. Okay, the heart, lungs, kidney and brain. Alright, now critical thinking skills. Sometimes we feel choking in the windpipe while eating. Why? So, when the air gets accumulated inside the windpipe, we get choked. Okay, we feel like choking, and that's the reason why when the air wants to come out before we consume something. Alright, now how is our body, how does our body act in the absence of kidneys? What will happen to our body if the kidneys are not there? Think about it, children. Okay, kidneys are the main part of our body. They help us in the digestion of our food, okay, and in the excretory system. Okay, it is the main part of the excretory system to get rid of the waste from our body. If the waste gets accumulated inside our body, you know what will happen. It's going to cause diseases inside our body, which is not good for us. Okay, case-based study. The nervous system is the most important and complex system because it controls all other body systems. Nervous system controls our movements, sense organs, heartbeat, breathing, digestion, memory and speech. The main parts of the nervous system are the brain, the spinal cord and the nerves. The brain is made up of millions of nerve cells. It controls and coordinates our movement. Whatever actions we do, whatever movements we do is all controlled by the nervous system. Okay? It is the control center of the body. Brain is our control center. Everything that happens to us is controlled by the brain. Okay? So, if a person goes into a coma wherein the brain is not active, you think that person will be able to do anything? No, he is just lying there. Okay? When the brain starts functioning, that's when the person is active. Okay? Now, brain tells every part of the body what to do, even when you are asleep. The brain is soft and delicate. It is like jelly. It looks like a walnut and it is protected by the skull. The space between the brain and the skull bones is filled with fluid and protects brains from injuries. Okay? Nervous system controls our movements, sense organs, heartbeat, breathing or all of these. All of these. Okay? The brain is made up of hundreds of nerve cells, thousands of nerve cells, millions of nerve cells or none of these. It is millions of nerve cells. Okay? The brain is soft and delicate like jelly, hard and delicate jelly or none of these. It is soft and delicate like jelly. And what is the function of the brain? We know that brain controls all our activities. Okay? It controls our body system. It is the most important and complex system of our body. Okay? It controls our movements, sense organs, heartbeat, breathing, digestion, memory, speech, everything. Alright, now life skills. In a group discussion, okay, discuss how to live a healthy life. Maintaining a healthy digestive system is the key to living a healthy life. So, some suggested points are getting up early in the morning, drinking enough quantity of water, fix your time for food and chew well before, okay, following, restrict eating of junk food and avoid overeating. So, discuss about this and see how you can maintain a healthy life. Okay, now let us do something new. Here is the diagram of digestive system of humans. Label it with words from the box. Okay, so on this diagram you have to label small intestine, mouth, stomach, food pipe, liver and large intestine. Alright, now explore. Take a watch and count the number of times your heart beats in a minute by putting your hand on the chest. Note down the number of heartbeats. Now cycling for about 5 minutes and then take another count of your heartbeat per minute. Write it down and compare with your earlier noting. So, children, what happens is when we are breathing normally, okay, when we are at a normal stage, that means our heart is breathing normally and you count your heartbeat at that time. It will be around 70, 72, okay, which is normally required. But if you do cycling, okay, or if you are climbing up, you will see, or if you are running, that your heartbeat is faster. Okay, that's because your body or your heart requires more air, and that's why it starts beating faster. Okay, so find more information about this. Okay, at the same time, reread the chapter, complete all the exercises before you find this information and do this observation. All right, children, get going.